Hace unos años atrás no había para gastar, ahorita hay de sobra. Dirán que soy yo sí con lo que me...
Human's legs are shaky here in the first. Legs comes on him. Oh, he dropped him and it is over.
Toja, cubanitas de 1,000,000 traigo colgada en mi cuello porque no presumí si antes no tenía.
Onslaught from Rocha. Oh my goodness! What a shot! Alexis Rocha!
Ni diga, ahorita es mi momento de brillar, por eso le he chingado en trabajar. Lo que diga no.
Big right hook off his palm. He was nearly caught up in the ropes. The mouthpiece is out, and Rocha is all over him.
The fighting pride of Santa Ana, California, Alexis Rocha.
What's up, Lex? Represent Santa Ana, man. Get that knockout. We're rooting for you, brother.
This is a shout out to Alexis Rocha from Santa Ana. Go get that big W on 10/21, representing the city of Santa Ana. Go get him, buddy.
Yo, what up, Alexis? Make sure you put in work, get that W. Let's fucking go. Get the job done.
Let's go get him, Lex. You got this, bro. October 21st.
Yo, Lex, let's get that dub. Overhand right all day. You got it. Let's get that title, baby.
Woo! My moment, Jimmy.
Yes, sir. I don't know who singing that one, but that one's good.
It's Luis Conriquez. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. But to pivot off that, let's discuss moments, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Moments pass us by every second, every minute, and come with every decision we make within our lives. There are moments so packed with meaning that they shimmer through time. Some inspire awe by exposing the splendor of nature. Some deliver a flash of insight to solve what seems like an intractable problem. They are inherently transformative. They instantaneously expand awareness and alter one's sense of self, which is why we must seize opportunities with great awareness and really understand that it is moments that really create who we are from the core. Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to that.
Absolutely.
Life provides turning points of many kinds, but the most powerful of all may be character-revealing moments. They go right to the heart of who we are, man. Come on. Which leads us to our next guest. And ladies and gentlemen, this individual is no stranger to moments. When you talk about face-to-face encounters, he's experienced them. When you talk about highs and lows, he's experienced them. When you talk about adversity coming down to the wire, he's experienced them. When it comes to intense pressures, pushing yourself, and building mental strength, this man has experienced them, especially when it comes to the sport of boxing. Shout out to that.
Yes, sir.
His professional record currently stands at 23 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, with 15 of those fights being way of knockout, which shows us his current knockout ratio stands at 65%, Jimmy. That's more than half. Means half you dudes get knocked out. That's more than half. He's boxed a total of 134 rounds, meaning his fights last 5.6 rounds on average. He is currently ranked 5th by the Ring, 1st by the WBO, 14th by the IBF, 11th by the WC, and 11th by the WA and at welterweight. His killer body hook shots have KO'd many and will continue to be a force within the boxing community. Should we name names? Should we name names? Dumas, Herrera, Abreu, Bacon, Barraza, Cobbs, and so much more, man. We are honored and excited to have the one and only Alexis Rocha, aka Lex. Let's go. Boom!
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Nah, bro. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, man. Of course, man. It's such a pleasure, man. When you decided to do this and everything, like, the excitement was through the roof. My wife woke me up this morning. She's like, "You nervous? You nervous?" I was like, I think I'm more excited than I am nervous than anything, man.
Definitely.
So, man, thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine.
So, like we always do, we always ask everybody, tell the audience who you are, where you're from, dive into a bit of your memories as a child, your background, growing up in Santa Ana, your roots, etc., man.
Yeah, man. My name is Alexis Rocha. I'm a professional boxer, currently signed with Golden Boy Promotions. Just give you the intro, 23 wins, 1 loss, 15 knockouts. Born and raised in Santa Ana, California. Born in the U.S. My parents were born in Mexico. My mom's from Zacatecas. My dad's from DF. And they came over here, had me. And, yeah, growing up, you know, born and raised in Santa Ana, like I said, that's my place. That's my home right there. And, you know, just growing up, I grew up a lot with my brothers. Obviously, my older brothers are Salvador and Ronnie Rios, who are also not currently, but they were former and also current world boxer. You know, growing up with them, we're half brothers. So my mom, you know, was with their dad. They had them. My mom divorced their dad, met my dad, had me and my younger brother, Angel Rocha. Yeah, I mean, that's, damn, now think about it, it's crazy. It's crazy where everything that's led me up to this, you know. Yeah, growing up, I was an overweight kid, and that's pretty much the reason why I started boxing. I was a very overweight kid. I was age 11, 205 pounds, and my brothers were boxers at the time. So Salvador Rios, Ronnie Rios were training at TKO Boxing Club, and I started going with them to go train, because I've been around boxing my whole life pretty much. Leading up to that point, I believe they started boxing when I was 7 years old, and from there, they would go to tournaments, they would go to amateur shows, and I would go tag along with them because my mom would go show support with the family. And I remember just being bored as hell. I'd be like, when is this over? When is Ronnie, when is Salvador gonna fight? And I just want to go home. I want to go eat some Taco Bell. I want to play some video games. And, you know, I was just bored out of my mind. And, you know, fast forward, I was a very inactive kid, you know. I didn't really do anything. I didn't play no sport. Until this day, I still have no interest in sports. I just played video games. I ate. If food was a competition, I'd be number one at it. I'd win every tournament.
Every cake competition.
Every cake competition.
Pie eating competition.
Everything. You name it.
Yeah.
So by 11, turning 12, I was 205 pounds. I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember my mom and my dad divorced. My dad took off, you know, live on his own. I was living with my mom. I remember I'd go with my dad's in the summer, or not in the summer, every other week. I'd go with my dad, go visit him, spend the weekends with him. And I remember one time I was just bored. I remember I saw a scale in his bathroom, and I was like, hey, why not? You know, I haven't weighed myself in God knows how long. So
wow.
Yeah, so it was a very good date too, because I remember I was outside playing like freeze tag. I was running around. I built up a good sweat. Came back. I had an 8. I was like, damn, I feel slim. So I'm gonna weigh myself. Stepped on the scale. I was 205 pounds, and I just remember like, shit, like I'm gonna be 12 years old weighing 205 pounds.
Damn.
Most adults don't weigh that much.
Yeah.
And I was like 5'2", 5'3", so you could really tell
Yeah.
that I was fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, I pretty much told myself I need to start living a healthy lifestyle, because at this time too, this is when I got my first physical for middle school. So they told me that I had very high cholesterol, and I was on the verge to get, I believe it's type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, that's before you have to do insulin. Insulin's type 1.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was on the verge to getting type 2 diabetes, and that scared the hell out of me. So I started going to the gym. And within a couple weeks, you know, it sucked. It really did suck, because after school, I'd walk home. I'd sprint home pretty much. I'd put on my workout clothes, and I'd try to attempt to run to the boxing gym, which is about 2 miles.
Yeah.
But I was so overweight. I had Vans on. I couldn't run, so I was like, all right, I'm going to just walk it. So I would walk. Eventually, weeks led up to it. I started running. I started jogging. And then, you know, taking breaks, I would walk, jog. And then a month later, I lost like probably 10 pounds, maybe 15.
Nice.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
And then from there, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna run the whole thing and not stop. So I started running the whole thing. I started doing my full boxing workout, and sometimes I would run back to the gym. But if not, my brothers would take me back to my mom's house. Excuse me. And I remember in 6 months, I lost about maybe 65 pounds.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot.
65 pounds in 6 months, maybe a little bit less. And then my coach, he said, hey, you're going to fight. He would put me in spar within this time. So in that time frame, I would be sparring with other kids who were older than me and were more experienced than me. And I was taking it to him. And he noticed this, and he noticed the hard work that I was doing, and everyone knew the weight loss that I was doing. And he told me in 2 weeks you're gonna fight. So I remember he told me that, and then I looked at my older brother Salvador, and he looked right at me, and he saw just my I had this blank face.
Like, what?
I was like, damn. And my brother told me, hey, you don't have to fight if you don't want to. You can go tell him, or I'll go tell him. And I was so close to telling him, I don't know how, like, this isn't for me. I don't want to fight. I don't want to box. I don't want to do this, because I was scared when he told me that. You know, I got the butterflies, and that was pretty much one of the first times I ever got the butterflies.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, you know what? Something in my gut and something in my heart told me that, you know, I'm going to just give it a shot. And within those 2 weeks, I remember just training really hard. I'd wake up early in the morning. I'd wake up about 6. I'd go run 4 miles, maybe 3. And then I'd go to school, come back. I'd still run to the boxing gym. And I'd do my whole boxing workout. And then I'd go home. I was pretty much eating clean, eating better, like dieting better.
Yeah.
And then I remember the 2 weeks came. I went to the show. And how amateur shows work, you go in, you give your age, how many fights you have, and I said your age, your weight, and how many fights you have, and they'll match you up with someone with identical.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be mismatched. It's not going to be like a 10, 20-pound difference. No, they're going to match you up with someone who's identical to your weight, to identical to your age and your experience.
Yeah.
And me being a 12-year-old, 145-pound kid, or a 13-year-old, 145-pound kid, you know, that's kind of hard to find. You know, a fight for me.
Yeah.
And I had no fights. So I get there, we wait in, they put my name on the drawing board, and I look over, and there's another kid, identical. He had about 6 fights. He weighed about 150. He was the same age as me, and I'm like, fuck.
Shit. So he was already kind of experienced and stuff.
Yeah,
like
he was.
right?
He had fights already, and I'm like, fuck, I have to fucking fight today.
Oh, you were hoping they didn't find anybody.
I was
right?
hoping, because I heard talks that like it's gonna be very hard for me to find an opponent at that age, at that weight class, and with the experience.
Yeah.
I get there, no, the first thing I saw on the drawing board was a kid identical to me, and I'm just like, my legs felt heavy, and I'm like, oh damn. And then within like 30 minutes, my coach tells me, hey, we have a fight for you. I'm like, I fucking knew it. Like I knew it was in a fight. But then I was panicking a little bit, but then I told myself, you know what, I would just,
I'm already here.
Yeah, I'm already here. I'm gonna give it 100%. And I ended up knocking this kid out in the second round.
Nice.
Yeah, ended up knocking him out in the second round. And I remember knocking him out, and then my family was there. I had a decent crowd, about 15, 20 people, which is pretty decent.
Yeah.
And then I remember just them just roaring my name, screaming my name, and cheering for me. And I'm like, oh, damn, this feels good. And I won. I raised my hand up, declared me the winner. And I was like, damn, this feels really good, actually. I know if I dedicate myself to this and I put the sacrifices and I just put in the hard work, I could possibly get somewhere with this.
Yeah.
And then I started training even harder. I started getting more motivated. I started looking up videos on like past fighters. I was looking at people in my weight division. I was looking up the top guys who I needed to fight, who was winning tournaments at the national level. And within, I don't even know how long it was, within 6 months to a year, I won my first, I think it was 6 months. I won my first national tournament in Kansas City.
Nice.
And I won the national tournament with 6 fights only.
Wow.
Yeah, and then from there, I went to another tournament called the Junior Olympics. And I had about maybe 13 fights, and I won the whole national tournament. And that placed me number 1 to go to Russia to represent Team USA for the Junior Olympics.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember I was 14 at the time. I won the whole tournament. I wasn't even supposed to win it because I fought the ranked number 1 kid on the semifinals. I ended up knocking him out.
What?
And yeah, it was crazy. It just my thoughts and the way I was looking, like I'm not experienced like these kids. I have 14, 13 fights, and these kids have 80 to 100 fights. They've been doing it since 6, 7 years old. I just started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I won the whole tournament. I remember we went to Russia, and we landed on my birthday. So I turned 15. I was 2 weeks out there just training, and then I fought, and I won a silver medal, but I lost against the Russian in his hometown. So yeah. And
Russians are tough, man.
Oh, super tough, and especially that kid. That kid was. It was a 15, 16 age category of the Junior Olympics. So they called the JOs, And that kid was tough. That kid was hitting like a 21-year-old. He probably was. He probably was or something.
Yeah.
I remember he cracked me, and he hit me like in the back of the head because I kind of like rolled under, hit me back of the head, and I literally saw all black.
Oh,
I saw all black. My legs didn't buckle or anything, but I remember just seeing all black, and I'm like, oh damn, this kid is identical to me because. Me growing up, my strengths were my physical strength. I was a lot stronger than most 13-year-olds.
Did you notice that too as a kid?
I noticed that. I was starting to spar with I was sparring with my older brothers. I was sparring with older guys, and they would tell me like, "Damn, this kid hits hard, and he's strong for
knocking the mitts off and shit like that."
Yeah, yeah. So this kid, I remember in that fight, he was taking it to me in the first round, and I came back to my corner, and it was a 4-0 his lead. And I'm like, shit, I gotta step it up. And then by the the second round, it was 8-7. And then we fought again. After the third round, he beat me, but he beat me by like a point. It was 13-12, and I caught up from 4-0 to 13-12. He beat me. I won the silver medal, and then from there, I started winning more national tournaments, and I won another big national tournament that made me again on the Team USA team, which ranked me number 1 in my weight division, 15-16, 154 pounds. And I went to Italy. I went to Ukraine.
Nice.
I competed in the world tournament with 40-plus countries that go and participate. And I got ranked number 5.
Wow.
Yeah, ranked number 5 in the world, pretty much.
What year was this?
This was in 2013. 2013, yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Did your brothers ever pressure you? They were boxing before. Did they ever press you to get in, or like, what are you gonna do? Like, things like that in regards to your weight and stuff.
They would make me work out to lose weight when I was growing up younger, because obviously they're seeing their kid brother not doing anything, and they're getting a little frustrated at me. Like, hey, go get up, go play with the kids outside. Get off the Xbox, get off the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Go out and be active with these kids. But I wasn't doing any of that. So they would make me go work out, make me do laps outside. But no, they never pressured me into boxing.
Yeah.
Never pressured me into anything I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
But they'd always, and when I started boxing, they were the first ones to tell me like, hey, you have to do this if you want to be number 1. You gotta willing to do this. And my oldest brother Sal, he would make me through like the toughest workouts. And I was like 12 years old. I kid you not. I was 12 years old. I was picking up 80 pounds with one hand, 80 pounds with the other hand, and I was doing farmer walks. So it was equivalent. It was a little bit heavier than I was. I was doing 160 pounds farmer walks back and forth in the gym. Like, he would tell me, do this for like probably 30 minutes straight until you're tired. And he was hard on me, but that's where I got a lot of my strength from.
Yeah, that's what comes with it, right? Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, it definitely pushed me.
What advice would you give parents who have like a child that's going through that and things like that? How can they get them kind of going, if that makes sense?
You have to be accountable to what you're feeding your kid, because my parents, they fed me so much, and they fed me,
unhealthy stuff.
A lot of unhealthy stuff, and it shouldn't have gone to that extent to where they feed me too much. They overfed me, and obviously they're like, oh, ¿qué quieres de comer? And I'm just like, oh, quesadillas or something. Yeah. And they would feed me anything, but I think now you really have to watch out what you give your kids, because then they could eventually form high cholesterol, get type 2 diabetes, and really just comes down to their nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That's true. Shout
I
out
lead
to
by
that.
example.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jimmy was a bigger kid too. You want somebody?
Oh yeah, man. I was
a
a big kid too. Again, I think I grew up to like maybe 215 pounds. Man. but same thing. Started working at the gym, started losing weight, that area. So just started learning how to proportionally eat, smaller portion and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And just exercising, man, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of maintain my weight, so
that's good.
Still trying to get, better, get there,
Yeah,
so.
man, just consistency. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Just work hard and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you touched a little bit on the Olympics. I know you were the youngest fighter to win a gold medal at age 14 in 2012. Can you talk a little bit more about that Olympic journey, and what are some like cool memories, cool moments that you remember from that?
Yeah, so I was the cutoff date to participate in the nationals was on my birthday. So I'm literally like,
wow,
I barely got in. So a little funny thing too, I was training for that tournament. So to get to nationals for those tournaments, you have to win districts, states, regionals, and then you have to go to nationals.
Yeah.
I was training for districts, But I was just so caught up in training. I was so caught up in like looking up fighters on YouTube. Oscar De La Hoya, I used to look him up so much. Him being an Olympian, world champion. I just look up to that because I wanted to be an Olympian. I wanted to go represent the country because I was already I wasn't representing USA at that point, but I wanted to represent Team USA. I wanted to go out and win an Olympic medal, and his story is just unbelievable.
Right.
Wow.
And I developed less interest in school. So I was failing like 3 classes. My mom was just disappointed in me. She's like, why aren't you getting good grades? You're doing blah, blah, blah. Like, you could easily get them up. And I wasn't getting them up. I was being really lazy in school. And then my coach tells me, like, you're not going to fight in the national tournament. So I'm like, yeah. So, like, I'm going to have to pull you out. So I never fought in districts. And he pulled me out because of my grades. So anyone coming up, grades are important. School is very important.
Yeah, for sure, man.
For sure. School is very important. That has to be key when you're in school. That's your first priority is school.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I remember I got my grades up. I got them to like B's. And I was just going with, training, whatnot. And my coach calls me in school. I remember I was like in 5th period. He calls me. He's like, hey, what's your weight at? I'm like, I don't know. I'm probably like from the weight I was going to fight, I'm probably like 4 or 5 pounds above that. And he's like, okay, I managed to put you into the States. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, how's that? He's like, the guy that won districts never showed up, and they called me to put you in it just to, like, just to cover up for the weight class.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like, yeah. He's like, but you need to fight in 2 weeks. You need to fight the kid from Nevada to make nationals. Oh. I'm like, oh, okay. So I remember training, and I beat the kid from Nevada. I remember I had to go to Nevada, drive there. I had to beat the kid. We drove back, and then like a couple weeks later, I flew out to, I think Alabama. I flew out to Alabama, and that's where I won my whole Junior Olympic tournament. And it was amazing being on Team USA, going to Colorado Springs. That's where the Team USA. That's where they have all the Olympians at.
Wow.
They call it the Olympic Village, or not the Olympic Village, but they call it OTC, Olympic Training Center, in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Nice.
And it's just different. Like, those guys are like, they're very dedicated because they're dorms and everything for you to live in there. And that's where I was living at the time. I lived there for like about a month. I had to go through, not independent studies, but I had to get packets of homework to do over there. And then I had to complete it over there. It was just like a lot of stuff going on living over there. So I had to miss school. They kicked me out of school, but shout out to Sigurdsson for keeping me in. They kept me in. They worked with my schedule, and they knew that I was obviously doing something good. I wasn't just ditching high school. I wasn't ditching high school.
Yeah,
I was
sitting at home or skipping school.
Exactly.
In the streets.
I was literally driving, defending, or competing in the Junior Olympic team. So I went. They cooperated with me pretty good, and I was living over there. And it's just different environment out there. Like, everyone's just locked in because literally they eat, they sleep, and they train. That's all they do, and I love that.
Wow.
Yeah. So that happened, and I started getting older. And like, obviously, when you win the national tournament, you get placed for the whole year, and then once the year's up, you got to do it again. The following year, I lost. I lost the first day.
Oh.
I lost the first day. Yeah.
Wow.
That was embarrassing because I was the RC, which is the returning champion.
Yeah.
I lost the first day, and I remember I was.
Why do you think that was? Not enough training? You were too confident? Or?
I got too confident. Yeah, I got too confident. I relied on my brute strength to overwhelm people, and then, especially in amateurs, it's a scoring point system where you have to like you have to throw
the more punches,
the more punches that land, or the more punches you throw is going to basically win the fight. I could go into a amateur fight, I could drop you, hurt you, you get up, and the round's over, I win that round. Next round, I don't hit you once, but you hit me twice, you win that round. So it's like it's an equivalent to a knockdown's equivalent to a punch.
Yeah.
A punch landing.
Yeah.
So the amateurs,
that's why you see him throwing a lot of volume punches.
A lot of volume punches.
Like
and it's 3 rounds, and it's 3 minutes, and you have to throw as much punches as you can to land as much punches as you can.
Damn.
But that was never my style.
So how do people really, how does technique really win, or the better guy? Seems like they're just brawling and you got lucky, and
No, not really brawling. You have to start using your skill set.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to use your skill set, whether you counter, whether you move, whether you're coming forward. Like,
True.
coming forward means like I'm the aggressor. I'm gonna go and I'm I'm gonna dictate the pace. I'm gonna put the aggression on you. I'm gonna overwhelm you with my punches.
Right.
And the boxer's obviously he's on the back foot, keeping you off with the jab. You want to come in close, but nope, I'm gonna hit you with the jab. Hit you with the jab. Keep using my lateral movement, and that's what the type of fighter that beat me that first day. I fought him. I fought some guy who's right now he's in the Olympic team.
Wow.
He's still in the Olympics. Yeah, like all those years later, and he's still in the Olympics. So he made the Olympic team. He's gonna fight next year in Paris. But yeah, I lost to that guy, and he beat me there by points, and I kind of got overconfident. Well, back-to-back years of me being number one, I kind of let my guard down. Also your weight too, like, but a lot of people don't put the emphasis, like weight matters in the sport, whether you cut it wrong, whether you do it really unhealthy, or whether you do it healthy, it's all gonna play a toll. And I remember the night before my fight, so amateurs are different from the professionals. Amateurs, you weigh in the day of your fight.
Okay.
The day of your fight. The night before, I fought 152 pounds on that day, but the night before I was 158. So I had to go to the treadmill, I had to put the plastics on, put the sauna suits on, I had to go run, I had to come back to my hotel. I got in the bathroom, I put the hot water boiling hot, I put the faucet water, everything hot, the sink water, I'm sorry. And I would just put the plastics on, I would get hot and steamy, and I would just shadow box in there until I made the weight. So the next morning, I barely made the weight. I was 152 pounds. And then I just remember stuffed my face after I made the weight, and I got really sluggish. Yeah, I probably gained those 6 pounds right back.
Yeah.
And then I lost that fight, and I was like, damn. And then I kind of took in consideration that, I can't let my weight go that high.
Yeah.
So I got to be more focused on that part, Just breaking it down weeks before your tournament or your fight, etc. And then I lost that tournament, and 6 months later, I go to another national tournament. I win that national tournament, and then I was 17 years old, and promoters started calling my coach and like, hey, because at this time, Ronnie Rios was my older brother. He was already signed with Golden Boy Promotions.
Right.
Yeah.
And through this time, me being in the amateurs, building this stellar background,
right.
They started paying attention to me. There's like, oh, who's this young kid that you're training? He's like, oh, that's Ronnie Rios' younger brother.
Right.
He's traveling in Russia. He's winning silver medals. He's going overseas. He's beating up everyone. He's ranked number one amateur. So I was close to turning 18, and that's when the promoter started calling my coach. First, it was Al Heyman, who's PBC. And this one, PBC, Premier Boxing Championships, was barely developing.
Yeah.
They wanted to sign me. And we pretty much said, yeah, we're going to sign with you guys. Just give us a contract. And they're like, whoa, hold up there. We're going to give you a contract, but you have to wait because it's so much that happened between Golden Boy and like Al Heyman. They broke up. And, they did their own thing. Al Heyman's doing his own thing. Yeah. And they wanted to sign me. And they were just prolonging it forever. So I was already 18 at the time, and it took like pretty much 6 to 8 months of me just not fighting, and I'm in the back burner, just waiting, training. And I know I'm still young, but I could have been active those years. I could have been fighting in the amateurs, or I could have signed with someone else.
Yeah.
And then Roberto Diaz from Golden Boy, he was a matchmaker. He calls on my coach. He's like, hey, like, I want to sign this kid. Here's what I have to offer. I have the contract ready for you right now.
Oh, man.
And then we're like, damn, this guy's stepping up to the plate. He really wants me. And I looked over, talked to my coach, and it made sense too, because Ronnie was already with Golden Boy. They've treated Ronnie very good.
Yeah.
And and it makes sense having the both brothers there with the same promotional company. It makes a lot more sense. It makes it easier, smoother. So shout out to Roberto Diaz. He's always had my back since day one. Nice. Appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. And we signed with Golden Boy in 2016, and started my professional career when I was 18 years old.
That's true. And then, it takes us to Velasco, right?
Takes us to Velasco, yeah. the golden days right there.
March 4th, 2016, you had your pro debut against Jordan Rosario.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, I heard you sold like 150 plus tickets. So maybe like in the 200 range or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But discuss that moment going professional and talk to us about that build up to that moment, man.
Yeah, so obviously it's different. It's a different transition from the amateurs going to professionals, especially because there's there's lights in front of you. There's no headgear. There's smaller gloves. You're more likely to get cut. You're more likely to get hurt. It's just a different scenario when it was to the amateurs. But I've never had an amateur style. Like I was telling you guys, I was never about throwing as many pitter pats or as many punches as I can. My style was to, I'm going to go in front of you and I'm going to knock you out. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And in the pros, that's more suitable for you. So my style was more suitable for the pros and the amateurs. So I was just looking forward to it. That transition right there was not too difficult for me, you know? But yeah, I remember I started getting more attention. You know, Golden Boy announced me. They started doing media prep for me. I started doing interviews. And I was like, shit, this is getting real. This is getting real right now. Like, damn, this is crazy. But Ronnie, you know, being my older brother, you know, I've always looked up to him, especially everything that I was going through, he already went through. So he was giving me advice. He was telling me what you got to do. You know, you're going to get nervous, but it's how you handle those nerves.
Wow.
Yeah, so he helped me out a lot. And it's just kind of going with the flow, too. You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
And I remember I sold the tickets. I sold a good amount of tickets. I had a good following. So, you know, shout out to all my supporters, all my fans out there, you know. Yeah. So I feel like since day one, you guys have always really been supportive of me. And I'm very grateful and very humbled by that. And come fight night, you know, I wanted to go out and just knock this guy out. Obviously, when you first start off pro, it's not like they're going to feed you a top prospect. They're going to feed you guys that you could knock out. And some guys you can't knock out. Some guys are there to not win the fight, but they're there to survive. Right. They're there to make the fight look ugly, boring. You got to dig in deep to get that knockout. Right. You know, not the cab drivers that you fight. You know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go out there and just knock this guy out, and I was rushing. I was too anxious to knock him out. I was rushing it. I didn't rely on my skills. I was just swinging from the fences at first, just relying on one punch to knock him out. Yeah. And I ended up getting the knockout in the second round, and that was the start of my career. Nice. That was the start of my professional career.
That's fucking awesome. There was another fight I was interested in, Cesar Valenzuela. Because what I was interested in is like such a big age difference. He was 31, you were 19. Mm-hmm. And we always talk about like you have to develop like that man strength, quote unquote. Right. How was that fight? Because I know you went 8 rounds with him, but did you feel that difference in strength and age and experience and all that type when you fought him?
No, not really. So for Cesar Valenzuela, he was 8-0, I believe. He was 8-0 or 7-0. I think it was 7-0, 3 knockouts. I was 7-0, 5 knockouts. And I was young. He was older. I didn't really feel his man strength. He was a little bit smaller than me.
Okay.
It wasn't like I fought this big guy. Yeah. No, it wasn't like that. I fought a guy who I fought him at 147 pounds. He should have probably been around the 140 category. Yeah. But you could feel them strong because obviously they have their man strength. They're pretty much in their prime of their career when they're 31. But I had the skill set. I had the experience on my side from the amateurs to go in there and do what I needed to do. Nice. I didn't get the knockout, but I went 8 valuable rounds that I know that could benefit any young fighter. Yeah. You know, it's not always about getting knockouts. They look cool. They look fucking spectacular. But sometimes the rounds are very, very important to get.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Nice. Talking about spectacular, your Dumas knockout.
Yeah.
Man.
That was a badass knockout.
Wow. You comboed him like on the way down, like with 4 shots. Oh my goodness.
So
that's crazy.
Miguel Dumas was my 11th pro fight, and I fought here at the hangar in Costa Mesa. Nice. Which is literally, like I said, I grew up in Santa Ana. My mom, where I grew up mainly was Fairview and Alton, which is 10 minutes down the hangar from OC Fairgrounds. A 10-minute drive, literally from my hometown, from my home. Nice. So I remember my brother also was on the main event.
Oh, nice.
He was the main event. I was the co-main event. Oh, wow. I was hyped. You know, we had we sold out the arena within like the first 2 weeks, so they had to add additional seats in the. What? Yeah, they had to add additional seats. So they made that fight like a WBC Continental Americas, which is my first regional belt that I was fighting for. So I got hyped. I was like, damn, yeah, it's gonna be a start of a good year because it was in March, beginning of 2018, and so I was telling myself it's gonna be a start of a good year. And I remember when leading up to the fight, I fought some guy, Miguel Dumas, who was 10-1. The only loss he lost to a former world titleist who didn't knock him out. It made it like a tough fight, and then this guy was saying like, "Oh, once I beat your prospect, you guys better sign me." And this is what he told, this is what he told Golden Boy Promotions. So they were confident, and they told me this before the fight, and it kind of gave me a chip on my shoulder, saying like, "All right, like you think you're gonna come in my hometown and knock me out or beat me?"
Yeah.
Okay. And I was very relaxed that fight. I remember we talked about earlier. We'll talk about later, but that locker room's a make you or break you moment where you get nervous. Anyone gets nervous in fights. When you're in the backstage, you think of all these scenarios. What if I lose? What if I get hurt? What if I get dropped? But like I said, once you make that walk to the ring, that's where you need to turn it on. That's where it has to turn on and stay on.
Wow.
Because all those thoughts you had of you losing, the what ifs have to stay in the locker room. Yeah. All you have to do is just focus on getting that victory by any means necessary. Whether it's a knockout, whether it's a stoppage, whatever, points. You have to walk. And I remember walking to it. That was the first big crowd that I actually soaked in.
Right.
I've had big crowds prior to that. But that was my hometown, so I walked out and I just see all my friends right there from high school. Wow. They're like right there in the front, and I took a minute to like soak it in, and I was telling myself like, "Shit, this is badass.
Yeah.
This is badass." I walked in the ring. I had so much confidence, not because I was overconfident, but I knew the hard work I put. Right. I knew the sparring I put, the hard work. All the hard work just led up to that moment, and I was just so focused. I remember the first minute of the round, I dropped him with a nasty uppercut.
Yeah.
And I timed it too, because I remember in sparring, I was doing that uppercut, and it just transitioned to the fight. I dropped him. I remember going back to the neutral corner, looking at my coach, and he's like, "He's hurt. Like, come on, like put the pressure on him."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna fucking go knock him out right now." So like, I remember like just jogging to him. The ref comes up, gives me the 8 count. They tell us to go, and I remember just jogging to him, and I just threw like a 6-punch hard combination.
Yeah.
Because I was just so locked in.
Nice.
I saw him hurt. I saw him stumbling, knocked him out, and I remember the crowd was just going unreal. And that's when that's what made me like a legit prospect, like a prospect coming up to look out for.
Nice, man. I know another one that I loved was the George Ashley one, because when you set up that right hook and it was just timed beautifully. You knocked him out with 20 seconds left, in the 7th round, and then boom, he throws two couple jabs, and then you just timed that right hook perfectly and just dropped him.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful.
So the backstory on that. 6 weeks before that fight, I was up early training. I was at 24-hour fitness training. I just got done running. I was in the sauna. My coach calls me and tells me, "Hey, like, you have a minute?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm tired right now. I just finished working out, but yeah, what's up?" He told me Ryan Garcia was gonna fight January 28th, and I was getting ready to hear they need a co-main event. They want to put you in, so I was already gonna say yes. And then my coach tells me, "Well, Ryan Garcia backed out." And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" He's like, "Well, they want to make you the main event, and they will try to find you an opponent of some like a former world champion or a no name." So I'm like, "Oh dang!" Like in 6 weeks, I mean, I've already been training. The motto, my thing is, I got to stay in the gym. I'm always in the gym.
Stay ready.
Always stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. And I was already ready. I was already training. I just needed to tweak some things like in sparring. I needed to start sparring. I need to like just focus more on my diet. But I was already ready, so I told him yes. And within 6 weeks, I fought George Ashley. I had a good amount of opponents leading up to that, but the promotion side, like I'm considered at that level, I'm considered a high risk, low reward. Where I'm a high risk, but they want to cash out. They want a good amount of money.
Yeah.
They want 6 figures, a little bit more than, not mid 6 figures, but they want 6 figures paychecks. Where that's not where you're gonna pay you to fight me. So a lot of fighters turned it down, and then you got Anthony Young, who said, "Yeah." He's like, I'm up to the plate." He knocked out a former world champion, Saddam Ali, years prior. So I was like, all right, well, it's gonna be a good name. He has a slick style. Me being in an aggressor, like that's kind of interesting to see. The styles make fights, so they call it.
Yep.
So a week before the fight, my coach calls me late, and I know that's not good. That's never a good sign when your coach calls you in the weekend.
Yeah.
So he calls me, and he tells me we have a problem. I'm like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
He says Anthony Young broke his nose in sparring, and it was like already 9 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm like, well, why would he be sparring this kind of early, or why would they tell us now? So that happened.
Yeah.
So I told him, what next? What's next? Are they going to postpone my fight or what? It's like, no, we have opponents available. We're going to try to get this guy who already steps up to play. He already agreed. He's already in the States. He already has his medicals. He has everything. His name was George Ashe. So, you know, I don't hold grudges to any fighter out there. Like, I respect every fighter because they're chasing the same dream as me.
Yeah.
But when you're in that ring, it's
a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different ball game. All the respect goes out the window. He's there to rip my head off, and I'm there to rip his head off.
Yeah.
So George Ashe steps in play, and then going into the fight, you know, it was my second main event, but it was the YouTube theater, and no boxer. There's never been a boxing fight at the YouTube theater in LA.
Oh, wow.
It's a new arena.
Okay.
They've had concerts there. They never had boxing fights. So my name literally goes down as the first boxing main event ever to go down. That's gonna go down forever. That's in the record books. So I remember there was more media, more than usual, but like I said, the more you want to do good, the more pressure and the more distractions there's going to be, the more lights there's going to be, and yeah, that's going to put pressure. But the pressure is the weight you put on yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's pressures with anything in life. Pressures with, you know, you got to perform, you got to do this, you got to do expectations, but that really comes down to the pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel the urge to, I got to knock this guy out to look good in front of the people. I got to knock this guy out because he's never been knocked out. There's no added pressure. Like, the pressure is just to win, I guess.
Yeah.
I know it sounds so easy, but it's really not. It's
Yeah.
really not. It's probably the hardest thing in this earth to do.
Yeah.
Which, out of all your fights, which one was like the toughest for you, would you say, in your opinion?
The toughest?
Yeah, toughest opponent.
The one I lost to, probably, Rashidi Ellis. Yeah, he's definitely a tough fighter. But, like, again, I felt, and I'm making no excuses. He beat me. He was a better man that night. His ring generalship, his skill IQ was crazy.
Yeah.
It was nothing I've been in the ring before, and all the experience he had it definitely threw out my game. But I've also, you know, I held myself back a lot too, because I feel like the pressure got the best of me. My nerves got the best of me. All that locker room thoughts that I was having followed me to the ring, and I just felt like I was just crumbling in that ring.
Yeah.
I was scared. To tell you the truth, I was scared. I was scared, and that's something that I've never really felt in a fight.
But you can tell you bounced back because literally after the fight, after that, you fought Bacon, and then you could tell you were like focused. You were on a tear, man. You could see when I watched that fight, I was like, oh, I could tell he's driven, he's focused, and everything, man.
So prior to the Rashidi Ellis fight, I was fighting other fighters, but I was also putting that pressure on myself because I was an undefeated prospect, you know, trying to be a contender to fight for a world title. And I was putting more pressure on myself that I shouldn't have. It's, looking back at it, that's the stupidest thing you could do. I wasn't having fun with it.
Yeah.
I was just trying to compete, and put that pressure on myself to knock this guy out, to look good, which really, it didn't lead me to perform that I know I could have performed. I could have performed a lot better, could have done a lot better things, but I was trying to protect that O, and I was trying to look spectacular. I was holding myself back. I fought Brad Solomon, and I was kind of freezing a little bit in that fight where I wasn't letting my hands go, and I was receiving punches. And my coach tells me in the 9th round, I'm sure you guys have seen it, you're going to hit yourself in the fucking morning.
So I have the clip on
You have the clip. I'm sure you have the clip.
Yeah.
He tells me that he rips me a new one, but I needed that little motivational talk. I go out there, I knock him out. I told myself, when he tells me that, like, all right, like, I have to go out there and I have to just be myself. I know that means, like, what does that mean? Like, you're being yourself already, you're fighting.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't really me. That was me. That was me with a little mental block in my head.
Yeah.
That was me kind of holding myself a little back because of the nerves, because of me being scared. In that 10th round, I go out there and I just kind of give it all on the line, throw it all on the line. Like, I'm gonna go and hurt this guy. And I dropped him within the first 30 seconds, a minute.
Yeah.
But then I got gas. I remember, because it's the 10th round, obviously.
Yeah.
I go swinging for the fences. I'm huffing and puffing. I'm trying to hurt him. The bell rings and I win the fight. But then I fight Rashidi Ellis. And again, I was trying to protect that undefeated record. And I fought another guy who, Rashidi Ellis, was undefeated too. So it's like, someone's always got to go.
Yeah.
And he came out to win. He was very confident. He knew what he had to do, and I wasn't confident what I needed to do, or what I could do, and he beat me. After the fight, I was kind of like put on the back burner because obviously I lost. You know, give the other fighters time to fight, and then I was really active, so I took a little time off. You know, I was still in the gym though. I was still in the gym. Never took time off the gym, and I remember just running. In my runs, I'd wake up, obviously, I go run, and I would think to myself, I would have played the fight back. If I would have done this, if I would have done that, I could have knocked him out, I could have beat him, I could have done this.
Yeah.
And, like, for 3 weeks, it would be constantly on my mind when I would run, or I would just sit down, try to take a nap, or go to sleep. I just replay the fight. I tell myself, if I would have done this, I would have won. Wasn't a month or 2 months later where I told myself, why am I thinking this? Why am I going? I can't repeat the past. I can't change nothing about the past.
Yeah.
I can't change nothing about it. I got to go and think about new things. You know, the past is already done. I have a loss in my record. And to me, having that loss, it took so much pressure off my shoulders. I just felt so relieved that I had that loss already. And I was telling myself, like, damn, like, yes, it fucking sucks losing. I hate losing. It sucks. I still have that moment in my head. I hate it to this day. And I think about it every time I'm tired, every time. It pushes me like crazy.
Yeah.
But that's where you learn the most valuable lessons is with losses. Man.
Is it really a loss if you learn from it?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a loss. It's on my record. I can't change that shit. But yeah, I learned so much from it. And I remember thinking, I got to envision my next opponent and what could I do to him for my future fights.
Yeah.
And I just started playing that over and over, and it just stuck to me. That I got to break these guys down. I got to do this. I need to do this. Not I need to. I want to do this because I feel it sounds exhausting. You need to go take out the trash.
Yeah.
No, I don't. That sounds exhausting. That sounds like a chore. I want to do this because you have to go out there and you want to be able to do it.
Right.
You know, it's like a privilege. You want to do it because it's a privilege to do something.
Yeah.
And yeah, my confidence just rose up from there. I started rebuilding myself.
Yeah.
Rebuilding myself. The confidence was up. My confidence was up. And I'm in a spree right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were talking a little bit about it off camera. You said you dream about fights at times.
Yeah.
Can you go a little bit in detail about that?
Yeah. So it sucks because obviously right now I have a fight coming up October 21st. I'll be at the Forum. I'm fighting against Giovanni Santillan. Obviously, the fight's still October 21st, so we're September 3rd right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
We still got a lot of time. I think about the fight because right now a big thing that I've been doing for the last 2 years is envisioning my fights. You know, the bad, the good, what I need to fix, just scenarios, different scenarios. That's very key, and that's very helped me a lot. That's helped me so much, actually. But I shouldn't be getting. I mean, I get butterflies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I get pumped up. I get pumped up thinking about it. I get excited thinking about it. But I shouldn't be thinking about it because it's still 8 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the week of my fight, obviously I'm cutting weight. I'm kind of miserable because I'm cutting weight. I'm reducing calories. I'm getting more media press. There's more attention around me now. I'm on edge where I'm like, I can't eat. Someone asked me like, hey, how do you feel? I'm like, how do you think I feel? I haven't ate.
Getting hangry.
I'm hangry. And then I sleep. Obviously, I sleep and I'm dreaming, and then I dream about my fight. It's always the week of my fight, I dream about my fight.
Wow.
And literally every time I fucking win, which is a good thing, but I win my fight. I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. I'm on cloud 9. I'm dancing in the ring, you know. And then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I still have to cut weight. I still got to go through that weight cut. I still got to go through all that rush, all the adrenaline. You know, I still got to go through the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, you know, but there's so much emotions. Fight week and fight day.
Yeah.
It's a rush. It's the biggest adrenaline. You need to do it, man. Like
high and low.
It's
high
crazy.
And low.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I feel you need to experience. Obviously, no one wants to fight. No one wants to be in a boxing fight. It's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, going in half naked to beat some other guy, trying to beat you. You could not potentially, but there's a possibility you get hit with the wrong blow, you could land in the hospital.
True.
But it's the biggest adrenaline rush you could possibly get, and to me, especially when you get the adrenaline rush and you win. To me, it makes it that much worth it. I'm willing to go through all the hard work. I'm willing to wake up at 5 a.m. to go run when I don't want to run. I'm willing to get out of bed when I'm hurting. You know, my ribs hurt, my legs hurt, my arms hurt. I don't want to do anything, but I get up and I put in that work because I want to put in the work to win.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. That's when you win, and you know, it's the fame comes with it, the spotlight comes with it, but you learn to embrace it, and you know, it's the more attention you get, the more feedback you get.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just comes with the territory.
And you can feel it in the streets when you're out and about, when you're at home with familia, fans.
Yeah, not trying to brag. Today I got noticed 3 times at 3 different spots. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Yeah, I got noticed at 24 Hour Fitness at the sauna. I was in the sauna and I could see a couple just looking at me, and I'm like, the hell? Like, what are you guys looking at me for? Like, I literally caught them. The guy was recording and he's like, not recording, but he was showing like a picture to his girlfriend, like of me, and I kind of put it together that like, oh, they're probably noticed who I am or something. Either that or they're making fun of me. But yeah, I get out the sauna and I like sit down, and the guy comes up to me like, hey, are you Rocha? And I'm like, yeah, bro. He's like, oh, can I take a picture? That happened. I went to the store. No, I went to church actually. I went to church right after, and another guy noticed me. He didn't ask for a picture, but I shook his hand. And then I went to Costco, and then another guy noticed me there too. Nice. It definitely does feel good, because I never pictured to have fans. You know, I never pictured to people notice me, to people want to take pictures with me, but it's just the hard work that I put in throughout the years, and it's just a recollection of all the sacrifices I put in for this.
Nice, man. That's fucking beautiful. So go into more detail about your fight coming up on 10/23. Yeah. What's your anticipation for the fight?
21st, yeah.
Yeah, 10/21, excuse me, yeah. Talk about the anticipation for it, how you preparing for it, what do you expect and things like that. What opportunities can present themselves if a W comes with this fight, man?
Yeah, why can't I cheat into the game plan? You know,
that's true, very true.
Nah. Cut that out. No, I'm going to be fighting October 21st against Giovanni Santillan, who's a very tough guy. It's going to be the hardest fight of my career, physically, mentally. I know I got to be prepared to the best possibility I possibly can. And I'm looking excited to it. You know, it's a different fight to catapult me up. It's a big opportunity, and it excites me. That's what excites me. It gets me nervous because I want to win. You know, I want to do whatever I can to win, and I'm willing to do whatever I can to win. With that being said, you know, make sure you guys could buy some tickets to support me. You know, like I said, LA Forum, October 21st, promote it there. You know, follow me on social media, Alexis Rocha 777. Keep up with my training. Keep up with just the schedule, what's going on, the merchandise I'll be selling. And I'm looking forward to it, you know, and
awesome,
a potential win with this.
Can't wait.
A potential win with this can land me to the WBO World Title.
Wow!
Yeah,
hell yeah!
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome. Well, Alexis, we got some pictures from here for you, and what I basically want you to do is kind of like go dive back into the memory, tell us what the picture's about, and things like that. How about this one, man?
Oh,
what was happening in this one? Talk about this picture. What was going on here?
So I was 16 at the time. I believe I was 16. I was 16 at the time. I just fought a national tournament, and I won that fight, but I threw a left hand, hyperextended it, and I feel like not this pop, but it just felt like a sharp pain on my left elbow because I hyperextended it, and it was unbearable. It was an unbearable pain where I kind of took the round off because. Not took it off. What I mean when you take a round off means you're not as active in a fight, in the round. You're not throwing as much punches. You're just kind of like putting your hands down, or you're just kind of moving around, just going with the motions, not trying to get hit.
Yeah.
But I took that round off. The next round, the adrenaline just kind of pumped up again. I was able to throw my left hand again. I ended up, it's called an 8 count in the amateurs, where you hit this kid or you hit anyone and their head snaps back, and the ref, puts you to the neutral corner. He gives you an 8 count to the guy to see if you're hurt, just to play safe measures.
Right.
After the fight, I had to go straight to Colorado Springs to train for the Ayibo Worlds tournament in 2013. So I went there, and I told the team of Team USA that my arm's kind of jacked up. Like, it hurts to move, it hurts to bend it. I can't even throw a punch. Can't even extend it. So they told me to get an MRI. So they didn't flew me. They drove me to the medical a clinic.
So yeah.
Take an MRI, and it turns out I tore part of my bone. I chipped part of my bone.
Damn.
Oh, man,
I chipped part of my bone from my elbow, and it kind of like left like a little floaty or 2 floaties around there in my elbow.
Shit.
And that's gonna eventually go out, but only time's gonna tell, and only time's gonna heal.
Damn.
So it's either that, let time heal, which time wasn't on my side because I had to go fight in a tournament 3 weeks to a month later.
Yeah.
Either that or I get surgery done, which the recovery time for that 6 weeks. So I'm like, I can't do that route. I gotta just fight through the pain and just suck it up and keep going. So that was literally the day of I took my MRI. So they gave me a splint to not move it for like 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
Just to keep it stabilized and not move it, just not injure it, not to irritate it more. And then after the 3 days was up, just go back to training.
Wow.
Damn.
How about this one? Seems like it's your 18th birthday on that picture.
Yeah, 18th birthday. You got my mom right there, Dela Quesada. My brother, my oldest brother, Salvador Rios, and then Ronnie Rios, the middle brother. So me and Ronnie are the middle brother. I don't know where the hell my younger brother is. I have a younger brother named Angel Rocha. He's somewhere, I don't know where he's at, but he's there. Yeah, celebrating my birthday, and this is big motivation why I fight. Especially my mom. My mom's been very hardworking. She's given me everything. My parents divorced when I was 11 years old, and then from the time I moved out, my mom did everything she could for me, and everything she could for her other sons too, for Ronnie and Sal. She was a very hardworking mom. Always provided for us. Whatever we wanted, she'd always work to buy us that. So she's definitely a lot of my motivation to.
Nice.
So like I told you guys, like, do you guys do it? You asked me earlier off the camera. They asked me, do I do it for myself or something like that? And I said, yeah, really you do it for yourself because you want to win. But now my mom's always been my motivation since day one. And now it's more of I want to win, not just for myself, but I want to better my family's life, my future family. Yeah. My mom, I want to better my dad's life, my brother's life if they help me, Yeah. Just I want to be there for my family as much as I possibly can because they've always been there for me.
Nice, man. Hell, it's beautiful. This is a big moment. I think this was it for Muhammad Ali?
Yeah. So the GOAT, Muhammad Ali, obviously RIP, he's a legend, former world heavyweight champion. I believe he was a gold medalist in the Olympics. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah.
We'll give it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, but he has a legacy that it's going to remain forever. If you think of boxing, you're going to think of Muhammad Ali. And for this was a stamp. So I guess to declare his own stamp, it was passed around the states. California had it published. They said they wanted the stamp. They wanted it published. They want to have a specific Muhammad Ali stamp. Yeah. And they did it right there at my hometown, Santa Ana, in my gym, TKO Boxing Club.
Nice.
So that's where it was passed, and that was the old mayor. That was the old mayor with the councilman, and then we're just there having a good time and just really, just thinking about or just admiring what he's done, Muhammad Ali. Yeah. What he's done for boxing.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice, man. Hell yeah. Yeah. How about these two legends, 2 pictures, one with Pacquiao, one with Canelo.
Yeah.
Talk about these memories right there, man.
Yeah. So this is. I'll go first. This one's first. So, I talk to the audience too. So yeah, this is when I was 17. I was a senior in high school. Canelo was with Golden Boy Promotions at the time, and he was gonna fight a southpaw, and I'm a southpaw. A southpaw is a left-handed fighter in the southpaw stance, which is right foot, left foot, back. So they needed sparring, and they asked me. Well, Golden Boy Promotions, Robert Diaz came in contact with Canelo, and they said, "Well, we have a southpaw. He's not a professional, but he's really good. He's an amateur. He has a lot of amateur national background to him." So I remember I think it was a Labor Day too, because I had a Monday off. It wasn't a Monday. I had a Monday off. We drove to his house. It was a mansion, like a $3-4 million house.
Nice.
We knock on his door. His fucking doors are like up to the ceiling, and we're just like, holy shit. And he's like, oh, come around the back. You can't come through the front because the gym's in the back. It's in the garage. So we go to the garage. It's empty. The lights are turned off. They turn off the lights, and like I look to my. Yeah, it's a garage, and it was kind of the whole oxygen, the whole heavy bags are there. The ring was there, and we look over to the side, and his cars are there, which was a GTR, a Nismo GTR, and a Porsche, I believe. And I'm like, oh shit! And the lights are turned off. They turn the lights, and we're just kind of waiting there. I wrapped up my hands, and then Canelo comes to me, opens the door, and he's like, hola, mucho gusto, like Saul. Saul. I'm like, fuck, you're Canelo. You're not Saul. You're Canelo. You know, you're a legend. Yeah, a super humble guy. I remember sparring with him. It was a good experience. Obviously, I was an amateur. I've never sparred with that many pros, and I go from the amateurs, sparring amateurs. I hardly spar pros, and to go to spar a world title in Canelo Alvarez, it was just different. He didn't go hard on me because obviously he knew that I was an amateur. He knew I was 17. He didn't rip me a new one, but he worked with me and he gave me some advice after. And yeah, super humble guy, super humble team, and I was very fortunate to help him out that one time. Nice. I couldn't help him out the rest because I would get out of high school, and that was my senior year, and I couldn't missing my credits. Yeah. So I had
forget the credits.
I had to decline that.
This is Canelo.
So yeah, this is sparring the other legend, Manny Pacquiao. This was in 2021. He was gonna fight Errol Spence again. He was gonna fight a southpaw, and then I'm a southpaw. I have somewhat similarities to Errol Spence, kind of the size, the body work, just an aggressive style. And his manager reached out to me on social media, and I thought it was like a scam at first.
What?
I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I'm not gonna reply to this. This is stupid. Like, why would they reach me up on social media? Yeah, crazy. And the son of the manager reached out to me on Instagram again, and he tagged me on something, or he wrote something left like a comment under my picture, and he's like, hey, oh, check your DMs. And I checked my DMs, and he's like, hey, like, no kidding, we're actually like, we want you to spar with Manny Pacquiao and keep in contact. So I'm like, all right, we kept in contact with him, and then they told us we're gonna need you for 5 weeks. So I had to go spar with him. Man. Yeah, so I went out to Wild Card, with Freddie Roach, another legend right there too. I went with him, sparred. I spent about 4 weeks sparring with him, and it's crazy because I would go to the gym, it was empty. It'd be the coaches, some other fighters that were done working out, and then by 2 p.m. like everyone had to leave. Just the sparring partners and the coaches had to be there, and I would see like 6 Filipinos just walk in. I'm like, oh shit, that's his entourage probably. Yeah. No, those are just like people those are like, they don't even know Manny. They're just there just to like witness a sparring. Wow. So I'm like, all right. I thought that was just his people that he came with. And then another 10 people walk in, and that's his family. And I'm like, oh shit. Another 5 people walk in, and that's like his sponsors or just other ventures that he works with. And I kid you not, it was probably like 30 people in that room. And it's a small room. It's a lot smaller. The gym's probably like this size. And there's 30 people, and the ring's right here. The ring takes like half of the space. Wow. In comes Manny. He greets everyone, and he's super humble. And it didn't hit me at first that like I just shook Manny Pacquiao's hand. I sparred with him. Obviously, I wanted to spar a legend. I wanted to show him how good I was. I wanted to show him who I am. Yeah. Yes, I'm a sparring partner. I'm there to work, but I also want to kind of prove myself a little bit. Yeah. To his audience, to him, that I'm good. I'm one of the next fighters coming up. Yeah. Future world champion. And then afterwards, we sparred. I took off my gear. I saw him take off his gear, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Manny Pacquiao. Like, it was hitting me right there that I'm there with the living legend. And he was a super humble guy. And at this moment, I took a picture with them, and I got some signs, some like pictures, some gloves signed by him, and I pulled out 2 pictures of a replica of me and him like sparring. So I told him, "Can you sign this one for me?" And he's like, "Oh," it's like, "Nice picture." He's like, "Can you sign one for me?" I'm like, "No fucking way, you just told me that." Hard drop.
That's dope.
I signed the picture for him. I gave it to him. He saw it. He's like, "Oh, thank you," and he put it in his bag.
That's
and I'm like, "Oh
dope.
shit." Yeah,
Nice.
super cool, dude.
Freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You said something about it was so packed at that time. You had to go outside to warm up and stretch or something because it was so
No,
packed.
I had like the little corner. I was like this little corner just stretching up, doing jumping jacks just to warm up because I couldn't even move.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't even move. That's how packed it was.
So community is it's key. It's a great foundation to success and upbringing of a city. Discuss the love you've gotten from the community and fans, and how does that carry over to your well-being and also to your boxing career?
Oh, like I was explaining earlier. I'm very fortunate to have fans. I'm very fortunate to people just go out. Like it still hits me to this day. Like people want to spend. People I don't know. People I've never said hi to. They just like the way I fight. They like something about me. Something sparks interest of me to them for them to buy a ticket to go to my fights. Someone I never met, just because they're intrigued by something I do, and it just hits me like, damn, like that's crazy. I'm very fortunate to have someone or people or fans like that to go out and support me, and it pushes me that much harder to train. Cool. And people would think, you get over your head. You're like, I'm gonna get overconfident. I get this ego. Like, no, I get more humble as the more fans I get. It's unreal how much support I get from my community as well. I'm gonna leak it here first. I'm gonna get a mural built. I'm gonna get a mural painted of me in downtown Santa Ana.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. But make sure you cut that part out afterwards. But hopefully within the next coming weeks, I'm gonna get a mural painted of me.
There's a spot for it yet? It's place or not yet?
They found the spot. They haven't told me where. They're gonna try to surprise me. I told them what picture I wanted, so hopefully they could get that picture. It's a nice picture of me in the ring. It's not a fighting picture. It's just me like when they're announcing my name, giving my introduction, and me just kind of like waving my hands up. But I want that picture, and wherever they put it in Santa Ana will be sick. Will be badass.
Yeah, be a staple for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's literally that's something where I could, have family, and I could bring my kids and show them, hey, this is your dad. This is what your dad used to do. Yeah,
so dope.
It's badass.
So dope.
Yeah,
I gotta draw mine in the alley.
Yeah,
this is me right here.
Yeah, little stick figures. This is me.
Lastly, Alexis, obviously 10/21, 23, you have a huge fight coming up. But besides that, what's in the works in the future for yourself, and how can people get a hold of your merch and things like that?
Yeah, what's store for the future? I mean, the thing with me, and if you look at every interview I do, they always ask me, with the win like this, what does it do for your career? What do you want after? Who do you want after? And I don't think about anyone but my opponent. I don't think about anyone. I don't think about anything till 10/21. My last fight, I took a 2-week vacation to Europe with my girlfriend, and this was a week and a half after my fight. But I didn't even think about that vacation. I was just thinking about the fight. There was no vacation. There was just, I fought May 27th. It was just May 27th, Anthony Young. It was just tunnel vision to fight him. And
yeah.
Interviews are telling me, hey, with the win like this, like, don't ask me that. Ask me after the fight, I'll give you an answer after the fight. But yeah, all that's in my mind right now is Giovanni Santillan. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be it's my will against his will. And it's how bad I want it against how bad he wants it. And you do not want to miss it, because this fight's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a good, exciting fight. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm ranked number 1 by WBO. He's ranked number 4. We're literally going to prove who needs to fight for the world title, who's in line to fight for the world title. He's 31-0. I'm 23-1. He's in the prime of his career. I'm in the prime of my career. It's going to be a good fight. Make sure you buy tickets to the LA Forum, October 21st. You could also support me too. Shout out, brother.
Yes, sir. Look at this.
You can get Team Lex merch on TeamLex or TeamLexMerch.com. That's where you can buy the shirts.
Really?
I'll be putting more in stock of new designs too. A lot of people are hitting me up like, hey, we're kind of bored of these shirts.
You need some posters too up in there.
Yeah, some posters up in there.
Yep.
Yeah, some hats, some posters, some socks, whatever you guys name it, whatever you guys want. Let me know. You guys could reach out to me for any interviews or for anything you guys want on. Even if you guys want like advice or something, I get a lot of people wanting advice, and I'm just like, damn, why you want advice from me? You know, I'm a scrub. You know, I don't do anything. But yeah, people ask me for advice, and if you want to like talk to anyone to get advice, you know, you could reach me at Alexis Rocha 777. Yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys for this.
Oh, of course, man. And lastly, Jimmy, you got some fun questions for him?
Yes, sir.
Fire away, bro.
Here we go, man.
Do it. Couple of fun questions. Answer as you wish.
Yeah.
Question number 1. If you came with a warning label, what would it state?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I have to be constantly eating like every 2 hours.
Okay. Number 2, Xbox or PlayStation?
I grew up on Xbox, but I bought a PS5 like a year ago, and I've been playing it ever since. So probably PlayStation.
Nice. Question number 3. If a dog were chasing you, what pair of shoes would you be wearing?
What I'm wearing now, well, not I mean right now, but what I wear now to run, and they're called, I don't even know how to pronounce it, hookahs?
Yeah, they're popular. Hookahs.
Hookahs, yeah. Those shoes are super comfortable to run in. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Question number 4. Julio Cesar Chavez or Oscar de la Hoya?
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Awesome.
Without a doubt.
Question number 5. If you had an opportunity to have a message on a billboard, what would it state?
Oh, damn. That's a good one. What would it state? Like a message? Like an inspirational quote?
Anything you want to say.
Anything you want.
October 21st. Something.
Yeah, October 21st. Buy tickets. What I put on my senior quote, kind of dumb, but I put it on my senior quote was work hard so you no longer have to introduce yourself. And that kind of says a lot, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Question number 6. Apple or Android?
Oh my God, are you serious? Apple.
Come on, Jim. I'm telling you.
If you got that,
You're
green
losing.
Bubble, you got that green bubble. We gotta get out.
All right.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Question number 7. Top 5 boxers of all time in your eyes?
Top 5 boxers.
Yeah.
And like in
Greatest
order?
boxers, yeah, in your eyes. You know,
I don't
your
really have
list.
I don't have a list of like 5 to number 1, but
Yeah.
I would give out like Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler. I have a lot. I have Hagler. They're kind of old school fighters too. Hagler Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar de la Hoya, Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Question number 8. $30,000 cash or 1 Bitcoin?
He's a big Bitcoin fan.
I respect it. I'm more of an Ethereum guy.
Okay. Take the Bitcoin. Take the Bitcoin.
I'll take the Bitcoin. Yeah.
All right. Greatest boxing upset of all time.
Greatest boxing upset of all time. Probably Andy Reese versus Deontay Wilder, or I believe it was Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's mine right there. Mike Tyson, absolutely. Last question here. I am Alexis Rocha, and I am...
I am a fighter.
I like him, baby. Go get him, baby. Woo! Go break those souls, baby.
Yeah.
No, man, like, I'm speechless because, you know, we brought in your brother Ronnie, and Ronnie is such a humble, very inspiring dude who gave us an opportunity and gave us a phenomenal interview. And not only that, he's just an awesome man, awesome human being. And then you came in, and it just feels so good to have people in our backyard representing our culture, representing our city to root for. And you guys are on the brinks of breaking that. Yeah. And it's just, it feels so fucking awesome. Words can't even explain how it feels, man. And we can't thank you enough for coming here. We appreciate you for representing Santana and representing the Latino culture, man, purely. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sir.
Of course. No, thank you for having me. You know, me and my brother just want to spread some light to the city, to our community. You know, not that many people know Santa Ana, and not that many people know that we're very hard workers. Whether we're fighters, we're starting with podcasts. You know, we all got to start somewhere, and you just got to work hard and follow your dreams, because at the end of the day, we're just normal people.
Yeah.
We're really normal. There's no different. Like, I tie my shoes different than you tie your shoes. No different than you tie your shoes. We're the same people. Just how bad do we want to be someone in life?
Yeah.
And I think that's what ultimately what I want. You know, I want to be a world champion, but I want to be someone in life. And it doesn't mean that I want to be a millionaire. It doesn't mean I want to have the nicest cars and this. No, like, I want to be an inspiration to the youth. I want to be a good role model to the kids coming up, not to kids, but to people, you know, suffering from depression. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to just be, especially boxing. Boxing's the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows.
Yeah.
You could feel on top, on cloud 9. So when you lose, or you have a bad performance, or, you know, etc., and you can feel really low. So if I just want to be there to support people and just to give my insight on a lot of aspects.
Man, that's deep. Any final words, Jim?
Again, thank you, Alexis, for coming down. Thank you for coming on our platform. Again, we wish you luck, you and your family, October 21st. Go and continue to break these guys' souls, like you said.
We'll be there, baby.
Thank you.
Let's go.
And we out of here, man.
We out.
Así suena su compa Luis R, puro corrido bélico, variante. Fierro.
Thank you. You guys want to do it again? Podcast, man. It's sick. It's fun.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's probably one of the best podcasts I've been on.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Did your managers jizz themselves a little bit right now?
No.
And he's like, I've only been on one. But this is the best one. No, it's still.
Well, once you put it together and do the whole setup.
Yeah, once I edit it down
with the pictures and everything, like my upbringing, like everyone knows where I'm from. Like the interviews like that, like that's what interviews are for. Like that's what to tell the audience where I'm at. But like pictures like that, the yes and no's, like my input on stuff. Like that's out of the box.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's our goal with every guest is because I've listened to all your previous interviews, and I do that with every guest.
Yeah, exactly.
And they always ask the same stuff, like boxing questions,
Boring,
and it's just like it's so repetitive, and I'm like, I want to get to know you from the